Okay. Welcome back to Seven Deadly Sins Anime Review, episode 49. This one I'm covering the 95th episode of the series, which is also the 19th episode of season 4, Dragon Judgment. This is The Struggle. This is out from the rest of chapter 328 and goes straight to 330. And you're probably thinking, like, given how long this arc is, like, really? 3 chapters? Okay, so does that mean that next week I'll wrap this arc up? It's possible. I mean, this arc has been going on now for, as this episode, for 7 episodes this arc is going on for. Which means with next week's episode, this arc will be concluded after 8 episodes. At least it's not as long as the New Holy War arc. That went on for a long time. Yep. This one continues from last week, where basically we first start off with Escanor beat the living crap out of Demon King. Well, partially this thing started with him having his hand trapped in Escanor's belly. Basically punched him right through. It doesn't kill him, but he was wailing him for quite some time. Eventually he gets pushed away, and of course Melios tells him to basically stop. Basically, let's help you, even though you want to do this by yourself. And then eventually he's convinced to basically just, well, he is convinced to basically allow everybody basically work alongside him to be Demon King. And thanks to also seeing what goes on the Mindscape. By the way, a lot of the stuff for this episode is pretty much spot from the manga. Did they change one word here? Yes, they changed one word here. Though I've seen a couple of different translations. I've seen a couple of different phrases of this line. So we see that Zedros has pretty much basically defeated the Demon King in this episode. Yeah, finally, it took 7 episodes to do it. Yeah, he beats the Demon King on his mind in a pretty good battle, and then he basically he's eventually shoved out of his body. Yep, and well, he's completely freed from being the vessel for the Demon King. And of course, Bond snatches him, which is completely obvious he was going to do that, and gets him straight to Glinda. Yep. And Demon King flies away, though we'll get to more what happens in that minute. This next part was so hilarious, where basically you have Zero just resting his head, like using Glinda's chest as a pillow, and then eventually he buries his face in her chest. And then, of course, well, I've seen a couple different, now they did change the word a couple times, a couple different translations of this one, where Melio says, like, I didn't know you were a breast man. And of course, in the one version I read of it, they call him a tit man. Here, he calls him a boobs man. Okay. He's like, what, you like boobs? That's kind of what he says. I thought that was kind of funny. And of course, well, he also mentions, what, did you bury your face in her chest when you're on the Mindscape? And he basically is embarrassed by that. I love how Glenn acts toward basically all lovey-dovey toward Zedros, and Zedros doesn't mind at all. Normally, some guys would not like this very much, but yeah, Zedros doesn't mind at all. And then one of the most weirdest things happens in this whole entire series, where the essence of Demon King starts possessing the ground of Britannia itself, and forms a pretty much around the same size as the actual Demon King, but it's got like octopus head and like 3 jaws. I'm like, what the heck is this? Yes, this happened in manga too. It's one of the most weirdest things. And we also see brief cameos from, oh, I kid you not about this. Like, I had to look up the arc basically this happened, and like when these two showed up. It was in the Ishtar arc. Yeah, it was the area where basically Melios got his power back. Yeah, the 2 druids from that particular arc are back here, and apparently they're basically goddesses. Yeah, they got wings somehow. We see a brief cameo about them, and this scene now. Some of the stuff here is somewhat anime original, like we see Margaret being hugged by Gale Thunder. We see Veronica being hugged by her former bodyguard and our boyfriend. It seems like that they just simply copy and paste this whole thing, and then we see that Batra just looking out the window, basically seeing what the heck is going on. Even he's worried about it. And of course, well, of the 3 big trinity of holy knights, the third one was like, thinking, oh, man, I don't have a girl here. Like, these two guys, I got smoking hot princesses, basically, as their girlfriends. Which, as far as the end of the series, they're still technically considered lovers. I would have thought they got married, but nope. It's completely unknown. And after seeing various people who appear like everyone's reactions to this, which they threw in like Hauser, they threw in the previous Chief Holy Knight's brother, who was one of the two Chief Holy Knights. Everyone's reaction to this. And of course, the Demon King's like, oh yeah, he committed the greatest sin of all. And he thinks that he's about to kill the 7 deadly sins. And he's like, what are you giving me a look for? And then we have the awesome rock music that basically pops up. Yeah, this is only the second time this whole season there's actually this rock music's pop up. It's like this big upbeat music that's usually associated with the series. Usually something big is going to happen. And the episode ends basically with a big hat moment that, well, the 7 deadly sins are going to wipe the floor with the Demon King for the next episode, which will wrap up this arc itself. Overall, good episode. Can't wait for next week. Which, as far as I can tell, is probably going to conclude this particular arc. Okay, so that's a particular view. Next is another comic corner. Yep. And one is, this is not a bit of a surprise, a finale for a trade series. The other for a start of a series that I never thought it would ever start, but here we go. Okay, now to this next video, which will be our comic corner. Bye.